I'm back with first 3 journals to flip through. It's been quite a while since I actually made that first video, so forgive me if I repeat myself, and also if you have no idea what I'm talking about, you might want to pop back and watch the introduction part 1 where I talk about the project and show you all the covers. Yeah, so since I made that last video, we've had Christmas. We in the UK went into another lockdown earlier this week. And things have been challenging. I'm snatching this tiny bit of time where the house might be quiet for a little while-ish. So everybody's home. My husband's working from home today, although he normally has to go into work. My son is doing school in the kitchen online. So we've got 2 people kind of on Teams doing live work or school. My daughter, my 18-year-old daughter, is around about, and if you hear any strange noises or shouting, that will be her. She has a neurological condition which is a little bit similar to Tourette, so if you hear any strange noises, that's probably her, or it could be the dog, hard to tell. Anyway, I shall stop waffling and start flipping through these journals. I will talk about how the journey changed. So when I started this, I thought maybe I ought to be journaling as opposed to just making journals. So you'll see, particularly in the first one, there's a fair amount of writing. That died away as the year went by. It's not really my thing. My outlet is in making visual art. And I found that the writing wasn't necessarily helpful, wasn't something I felt like I wanted to do. So after a little while, I let myself off the hook and stopped doing it. If I felt like writing something, I wrote something, but you will see that happens less and less frequently as the time goes by. You'll also see in the first couple of journals that I was using it, to record memories and to keep little bits and pieces of ephemera from my life, not masses. I wasn't doing a huge amount at that time, so and we still aren't now. So yeah, so there's some interesting things in there, things that have changed. It's been really interesting looking back at them. So we will start with the one from December 2019. I started this project in December, ran for a year. I don't know why, but in my mind that feels easier than starting something in January, perhaps. So each booklet is the same size. Each journal, mini journal, is the same size, and it has 7 sheets of paper, of whatever paper I used, folded in half and bound with a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. This is scrapbook paper, washi tape, label I'd made on my iPad, and a closure made of cotton calico and some picture framers tape and some string stitched on. And I'd like to think that I'd thought ahead and put that on, but I know I wouldn't have. So I probably just hung the whole journal off the edge of the sewing machine and stitched that on there towards the end. The envelope was obviously already on, and if I'd done it in advance, I certainly probably would have stuck the envelope on afterwards. So what do we have? So that looks like a bit of a paper misprint. I have got, this is some decoupage napkin over book page, bit of washi, bit of tea stained paper, bit of gauze, bit of stained up gauze, and I think I must have just got my entomology stamps because there's a few of them in this journal, and the Tim Holtz entomology set, so we've got a few little bugs going around the place. As I said in the last video, I'm recovering from, recovering, I don't know, as I said in the last video, I'm recovering from some health issues, and this has been part of that journey. So this quote here is, "I hope you know you're capable, brave and significant, even when it feels like you're not." I've made that into a flip out with a little bit of journaling on the back, and another one of those entomology stamps, some background stamp, washi, torn bits of scrapbook paper. That scrapbook paper I've had forever. Little list of things to do and make on the back of there. Another little journaling spot under here, with a little bit of circle that was in my scrap. This tag is completely stuck down. More gauze and a little bit of a digi here. I think this is the Old Design Shop. It's one of their botanical sets, and it's black and white. And I think I've probably used some watercolour pencil over there. I seem to have done lots of distressing around the edge. It's pretty grungy and messy. Grungy and messy is often my thing. A little pocket. A little bit of journaling here, which I've actually taped together because I think it's probably quite negative. This vintage flourish stamp from Indigo Blue, which I love. And this vintage glassine paper was from envelopes from some stamps I got on eBay, and it was just grungily lovely like this when I got it. It looked like it had been burnt maybe. But it was, yes, beautifully grungy, and I tore some of those apart and stuck them down. A little bit of collage. This is an inkjet print that's been wetted, either deliberately or accidentally, to make the colours run. A little scrappy tag here. More collage. Bits of stamped paper, scraps, some dictionary paper. There's a bit of gesso on there. A little bit of journaling. Little quote here, and then this little pocket here, covered in this washi tape, which I love, and I don't have any left now. It's all gone, so I'm glad I kept a bit of that. I love that pattern. And here is a Hamilton ticket, because I had taken my son to see Hamilton, which was wonderful, but also quite challenging day out. Travelling to London and so on. Little glassine envelope here with collage on the front. Little pocket here with a tag. There's my husband trying to come in, then I've just sent him away. Little tag, a little bit of William Morris. That's an index card. It's a flip out. Another little collage spread. I think I've journaled something on here. Yeah, no sleep. Insomnia is a little bit of a theme in places. Did I miss a page? I'm sure I missed a page. Hold on. Yes, look, because there's another insomnia piece here. It says it in there. This is a napkin I've had for ages. Beautiful napkin, but I obviously did this one in the middle of the night when I couldn't sleep. A little silhouette I've cut out. And yeah, just some decoupage napkin and some watercolour of some kind. Yeah, collage spread here. This was Christmas Day. I'm not much of a Christmas crafter, but I did make some holly and berries. I found Christmas quite stressful, so I like it, but I find it quite stressful, so that was what I managed to do. And then here, I've started to run out of steam a little bit towards the end of December, as you can see, and these are just some very basic. There's some paint on the back of here, and I've stuck some bits of digis down, and then actually I've done some tiny bits of collage, and then I've written in the last few pages, which I don't think I do at any point again during the process, and I sort of was doing it to fill the journal up. It's entitled Surviving December. So yeah, I don't do that again, and I did it because I wanted to fill the journal, and I felt I ought to do it, and I didn't feel I had the wherewithal to fill it properly. But I don't think I ever did that again, and it certainly wasn't something that was productive for me, and there's nothing in there. So that is the first one. and now we will move on to January 2020. And here we are with January 2020. I've just grabbed another cup of coffee. That's good. So yeah, let's have a look in this one. So again, this cover is made of some scrapbook paper, which I'd had like for years, maybe 8 years, maybe longer, I don't know. I'd had for a long time. And we've got a bit of stained up paper edge, some picture framers tape. There's a 3-hole pamphlet stitch under there. Vintage stamp, a bit of calico, and this is a Tim Holtz ticket, which again I've had forever and refused to use. Tim Holtz stuff is quite expensive in the UK, and when I have bought some Tim Holtz ephemera or papers, which I have not bought very much of, I find them really hard to use, which is silly. I should either just not buy them or buy them and use them. Well, you know, if I love them so much, make things for myself, and that's one of the things that I've learned, is that making things for myself that I'm going to keep and not give away means that I will have those things in the format, in the incarnation which they were supposed to have, if that makes any sense. You know, they were destined to be made into something, not just sort of kept in a pad. So yeah, I'm getting better at that. Right, so inside here we have some more vintage glassine, with that same vintage Florage stamp, and then a little scrappy stitched card I've made. I think I've written it on here, 6th of January. I found this by chance. I can't even read my writing. I found it on the on my craft room floor, and figured it ought to really make its way into that journal. So I've got a bit of a yellow theme going on there, with a bit of paper lace and yeah, legal paper, and something else. Don't know what it is. I've done quite a lot of background work on these pages in the early days, so I think that looks like sort of brayer paint that's been brayed on in sort of neutral tones. Bit of stamped tissue paper, bit of a botanical print there. That's a bit of jelly printed paper with a flip out, and I've written here 2 days in a row with Soda House Time, first time since the November, so grateful I will enjoy it while it lasts. And that's quite ironic now, bearing in mind what's been happening and what happened last year, because I went from thinking I was going to have, you know, little bits of time on my own in the house for my creative pursuits with no distractions, and you know, everybody ended up staying at home most of the time for most of the rest of the year. A little quote on a card with a little bit of painty paper. I don't know what I've done there. I think that is using a mini jelly plate and the little Distress ink minis, and I've just stamped that all over the plate, and that's made a texture there. I have some brown lace there. I must have coloured that myself. I don't think I've ever had any lace that colour. I don't know how I got it brown and not crusty like that. So a little spread here with collage napkin, and then these are the wastes from the die cut, these lattice shapes, which I use for stenciling, and it's one of my favourite patterns, this sort of Moroccan tile shape, and so I tend to have quite a lot of these, and you'll see in the February journal as well, I was obviously going through my stash and using scraps and starting to rediscover things. So here is a napkin. I put Dreaming of Spring on the back of there. It was February, and February's pretty dark and dank here in the UK, and I found it a very horrible month. Then these little fold-out journaling spots here, which is just like a strip of paper made into a triangle at the top and folded over, and then folded into 3, and a little tab on there to tuck in. There is something. No. Then a little altered clip here, See now this was a really bad day. And I think I've stapled it together because I hated it so much. And I think I've written something probably not very positive in there. But that was an awful day, and I'd been really frustrated. I'd wanted to have some time to be creative, and by the time I did, I was in a really bad mood and not feeling it. And what I didn't like what I did, and it was just a bad day. So I stapled that page together and I've put confidential on there because I didn't want anyone to see it. Looking inside now, it doesn't look as bad as I thought it is. There's another little journaling fold out spot like the other one there. That's another altered paperclip. I was obviously playing around with altered paper clips that month. And that's the other thing, is these journals are a record of my sort of creative journey over that time. So we've got more collage here, a little origami envelope there with a little journaling inside, little date stamp on there. So if you do want to use a journal like this as a writing journal, there's lots of ideas for how you could do that. And put things inside. A lot of people say, how do you use that journal? Where do you write? And of course, it's a combination of visual and written, this one. A little sort of brad with some card and some hessian. Bit of journaling. And another card there, a very flimsy card, not stuck down very well. This is a digital collage I've been working on and playing with. Oh, is that a flip? Is that a... Okay, that's why it's weird. It's an over the page thing, so it's like a little bookletty thing, which not very well made because that's really thin paper, so not fit for purpose really. Patience is bitter, but its fruit is sweet. Jean-Jacques Rousseau. So a bit more collage, cutouts from digitals, and then a little belly band here with a stained up like bank thingy. That's a Book of Mormon ticket, which I turned over, covered with some book page, and put a sort of label at the top. And yeah, if I would struggle to put something so modern looking into these effectively vintage style journals. So that's one way of kind of disguising modern ephemera, so that you've still got your memory there, but it doesn't jar visually with your journal. Other people, if it doesn't bother you, then it's fine. It's just me being picky. These stamps, I'd ordered something on eBay, and the seller used these stamps. They were obviously mint and hadn't been postmarked, so they used these really old stamps from the, what are they, 1950s probably, as postage, and they're marked 2020. So yeah, so they've got a modern postmark on, but they're really old stamps, so they are in there just as they are. The pocket there, little minimal collage there, bit of torn envelope, little ledger, and little pocket in there. More little simple collage, a little bit of journaling on some ledger paper. I really like these simple ones. See? I often end up overworking my collages, but actually I really like the simplicity of that. And I really like the simplicity of that page as well. Just that sort of tone on tone with the stained paper. So I've done a bit of writing in there, just a couple of pages. And this, oh, you'll see this. So you'll see this on the cover of the next journal, but with a like a tea-stained background or a neutral background. But I found that digital image in the public domain, and I yeah, I scrubbed out I turned it into a PNG and played around with backgrounds on it. So that's it on black, which is rather dramatic and lovely. A bit of stained doily there. And that is February. No, January. I've probably said February at least 3 times while flipping through the January journal. You will have to forgive me. So finally, last but not least, this is really chunky monkey here, and probably impractical on the sticky out bits. They need to be not quite so large, but it was a good play. So there was that image I talked about, just onto the front of, again, that looks like a file folder or something. Under there, bit of cardstock, bit of digi, and this very flimsy elastic, which isn't really fit for the fatness of this journal. And then this button here is been decoupaged with some napkin, and yeah, stuck down. The napkin the napkin decoupage buttons are lovely. I like them, and I must make some more at some point. I need to find the right napkins. They need to have little thingies on them. So in here, we've got a sticker, fairly minimalistic opening spread. I think I'm not particularly thrilled with that one. These are the cutouts from those stencil forms and the outlines as well. So these are bits of the stencil, and I've put stamped or scrapbook papers behind them to make these tabs, and then sort of cut out shapes on the back. I've done all sorts of things actually, but as you see throughout, it's these similar shapes. So this shape here, and then this shape here, which I've used in various places throughout this journal. And in this journal, funny looking back, I was starting to sort of be outside and be in the world a bit more after being ill. And so there's lots of things, I can remember the things that I bought and went to the charity shops and found some things. So yeah, I can see those things I bought, but of course, you know, we move a few weeks forward and going to charity shops was no longer possible. So yeah, it's been a weird time. So a little bit of collage here. That is a bit of book page from a children's book. This is a little shabby, scrappy over the page thing. I don't know what to call it. That's some wide washi tape there. Yeah, look, I put vintage finds at the charity shops. I found a massive book of music paper for 50p, some tea cards, and that was really good fun. And first time I felt well enough to do something like that for a long time. And these blue flowers here, I was making a journal, sort of a vintage blue botanical journal for my sister-in-law's 50th birthday. These were some of the images that I was playing with digitally, and they've made their way into this journal. And I like that about these, that they're a record of things I was making. A little bit of journaling there. That's decoupage napkin on a tag, which I've made into a little tuck spot. And another one of these little tabby things here. Bits of fabric from secondhand garments, and I found these stamps also in the charity shop, so I've put those in here. That stamp again, some fabric I found, some napkin. Again, you know, not the best spread in the world. It's not great art particularly, but it's not hideous either. It's part of my journal and it's part of where I was. Here is Valentine's Day, where I've got my cards, and again I've disguised the ephemera, so like the cards are on the inside, I've done something that's more vintagey on the outside. I found this little vintage Valentine's online, which I think is really cute, and then I used one of those cutouts, and this is from my Valentine's Day chocolates, and I've cut the paper that ran the chocolates out and made it into a little flower with a little brad. I don't know why this page is so weirdly shiny. I think I must have used gloss medium on it by mistake. So it is very weirdly shiny, and again, this is a fairly random collage with lots of scraps and bits and pieces. I don't think some of these are chocolate wrappers again. Bits of the vintage glassine. This is rice paper, bits of doily. So again, a bit of tone on tone. And rather shiny. Then I've made a little tuck spot here with like a little tag and a ticket kind of glued together and then glued on two sides. Little tag with some journaling. I'd made some collage roll. I was really into sort of using up scraps that month. And I think I spent some time like upstairs resting, but with a massive box of scrap paper, and I just made all lots of bits and pieces, which was really good, and they made their way into the journal. Got a bit of a blue spread here. Yeah, again, these were digis I was playing with and making. I think I'd made a collage masterboard and then scanned it and worked on it and cut bits up. This is William Morris. Bit of stitched fabric here. And some now untied raffia. And I also got a happy mail, my first ever happy mail, my only ever happy mail, from a colleague of my husband's. And she sent me a box of stuff, and I've used some of it here. This card came from her. And a bit of junk tag, some little tickets and scrapbooking paper and some little embellishments there. That was a very kind. I've never met this lady, but she knows I'm a crafter and she knew I hadn't been well. And my husband came home with something. He said, apparently this is called Happy Mail. I'm like, yeah, I know what Happy Mail is. A little kind of nod to hopefully spring coming here with some scrapbook paper, fussy cut daffodil, some nice gauze, more gauze, and that I think was my first ever avocado stained paper, which was rather lovely. And I think my daughter was eating avocado. It's like they were going out of fashion at that time, so there was no shortage. A little sticker here. That's yeah, I think that's probably a shiny sticker that I've covered with matte medium. A little stamp on a tag, a slightly dark and grungy experimental collage, slightly jarring, I think. I don't hate it. I'm just not sure it goes with the rest of the journal as me doing something with black, which I don't use in my journals very often. This is a bit of trim off a garment that I found, and you could put something in there, although I think it's probably more trouble than it's worth. It is open at either end. From a garment that I bought at the charity shop, a little journaling spot there and a belly band with some of that blue digi. Phew! So that's the first three. I'm glad I tried to did them in groups of 3, not groups of 4. I'm starting to lose my words now because I've been talking for too long. So I'm going to go now, and hopefully I'll be back soon with the next 3 in the series. I hope you've enjoyed watching this. If you have, please do subscribe to my little channel. Leave me a comment below. You can find me on Instagram at handmade_bookmakery, where I sharing my collage glue book, the slow stitch tags I'll be making for the Handmade by Anne 52 tag challenge, and all sorts of other things that I get up to in my art creations there. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.